Hi, boys and girls. Today, for our math lesson, we are going to make a math card game package. So, what we're going to do is create a deck of cards that has to do with math, and then learn some games to play with them. So, first, I want you to gather your materials listed below, and then we'll watch the video at the bottom. So right now, you need to go get 5 pieces of paper. It could be any kind of paper that you have. You'll need 2 colors of either markers or crayons that'll show up on the paper that you choose. 1 pair of scissors, and then if you want to, you can grab a Ziploc baggie or other kind of storage container to keep your cards in once you've made them. So I'll give you 2 minutes and you can go do that right now. Okay, so hopefully you have all of your materials right now. Now we'll watch this video. And this video will show you what you're going to do with the paper and other materials you just gathered.
Okay guys, I'm going to show you how to make your own deck of cards that is specific to use for math games. First thing that you need is some paper. You need 7 pieces of paper. They should all be the exact same color. It doesn't matter what color. I'm just using white because that's what I have. You also need 2 colors that you can write and draw with. Okay, I'm choosing turquoise and purple. You also need a pair of scissors. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the first step in making your deck of cards. For each of your 7 pieces of paper, the first thing that you are going to need to do is fold. So you're going to take a piece of paper and you're going to fold it in half this way so that you have one long piece. Okay, then you are going to fold it in half again this way, and then in half again. Okay, when you unfold it, you're going to get a page that looks just like this. As you can see, there are 8 different sections giving you 8 different cards. The very first thing that you need to do is cut out each of these cards by following the lines. You'll end up getting a whole bunch of rectangles that look like this. Once you have done that, it's time to actually design your cards. With every deck of cards, there are 2 colors. Usually in a professional deck of cards, there are red and black. However, you can use whatever colors you want as long as they are colors that are going to show up on your piece of paper. So if you have used black paper, then yellow is not going to be a good idea. Okay? So like I said, I have chosen purple and I have chosen turquoise. The next thing that you need to do is decide on 4 symbols. You need 2 symbols that you will do in your one color and 2 symbols that you will do in your other color. Okay? So if you need to press pause and think about that, go ahead and do that. I'm going to help myself remember what I have chosen by taking a piece of paper and I'm going to write out what I have done. So with the purple, I'm choosing to do hearts and triangles. With my turquoise, I am choosing to do squiggles and stars. Okay, so that just helps me remember what I am working with each color. Next thing that you're going to do is actually create your cards. Here's my ones. Usually in a deck of cards, we do not have the number 1, but because this is a math game, that's why we're making our own deck of cards, because it's going to be important that we do have the number 1. So here are my ones. As you guys can see, I have a 1 of hearts, I have a 1 of triangles, I have a 1 of stars, and I have a 1 of squiggles. Okay, I have 2 suits that are turquoise, and I have 2 suits that are purple. For each of the cards, you will notice that there is just 1 of that particular symbol. I've drawn it in the middle, and I've been very neat and tidy. Okay, so those are my 1s. Once I have made my 1s, I'm going to make my 2s. Here's my 2 of hearts. Here's my 2 of triangles. Here's my 2 of squiggles. And here's my 2 of stars. Again, I've made sure that I've used the correct color for each of my symbols. I have drawn the correct amount of symbols in the middle of the card. And then I have labeled with the number in the corners. Okay? So you're going to make these cards going from 1 until 10.
Okay, so right now I will show you my deck of cards. So as you can see, I did stars, squiggles, hearts, and triangles. And the 2 colors that I used were blue and black because they showed up on my paper. So make sure that your markers or crayons will show up on your paper before you get started. So right now I will set a timer for, let's do 7 minutes, and I want you to create your deck of cards. So make sure that you have 2 different colors and 4 different symbols. And you need to make sure that you have numbers 1 through 10 for each set. You have 2 more minutes to finish up your cards. Alright, so if you are still not finished with your cards, then you can go ahead and pause the video and take as long as you need to work on them. So using your deck of cards that you made, we're going to learn how to play 6 different games. Our first game is called Total of Game. So you're going to lay down 20 cards in a 4x5 array. So that'll be 4 down and 5 across. And we're only going to do level 1 unless you want to do the other levels on your own time. So we're going to find numbers that make 10. So to play, we'll find cards that make 10 and then remove the cards from the board. Continue until you are stuck. The goal is to have as few cards or none left as possible. So this is what your game should look like after you lay out your cards. You have 4 down and 5 across for each row. And remember, you're looking for a total of 10. So you can watch my video. So I had a 6 and a 4, and that makes 10, so I took those cards away. After that, you'll keep going and keep looking for cards that make 10. If you flip over 2 cards that don't make 10, you flip them back so you can't see them. So it's kind of like a matching game. The second game is Go Fish. So you'll need a partner for this game. So you're going to play the game Go Fish, but a match is 2 cards that make 10. When you're done with making 10s, you can play again with the matches. And you can choose a different number of your choice. So instead of making 10, you could make 20, or you can make 15. So your Go Fish game should look something like this. So you have your pile, of cards, and then you and your partner both have an equal amount of cards to start with. The third game is called Fact Families. So you'll deal 21 cards and you'll put them face down. You'll turn over 4 cards at a time and look for a fact family. So you make a stack of a fact family when you find it. If you can't find a fact family, continue to draw one more card until you do. Once you find a fact family, turn over more cards to have just 4 cards showing again. The object is to have a few cards left over when you get stuck as possible. So you can watch my video on how that'll look. There's my stack of 21 cards and I'm flipping over 4 of them. I take my cards that are fact family and I put them to the side, and then I'll flip over 4 more. Those 4 didn't have any fact family, so I'll take another one. And then I'll take away my fact families again and make sure that I have 4 cards at all times. The next game is called War or Compare. So you'll need a partner for this game too. You want to divide your deck of cards evenly so each player has the same number of cards. Don't let each other see what cards you have. Each player turns up a card at the same time. Whoever has the higher card takes both cards and puts them face down on the bottom of their stack. If the cards are the same value, it is war. Each player turns up 1 card face down and 1 card face up. The player with the higher cards takes both piles. If the turned up cards are again the same value, each player places another card face down and turns another card face up. The player with the higher card takes all 10 cards and so on. The game ends when one player has won all of the cards. So this will just be a little demonstration on how to do this one. I didn't have a partner, so I had to play by myself. But my number was higher, so I got to take it from the other pile. And you do the same thing over again. But we got the same cards, so we flipped over another card. And I got them again. Next is Subtraction War. So you'll need a partner for this game too. You want to first shuffle your cards and then place the deck of cards on a flat surface face down. Each player will take 2 cards. The players will turn over their 2 cards and subtract the smaller number from the larger number. The player with the larger difference wins the round and takes all the cards from that round. In case of a tie, each player takes 2 more cards and the player with the larger difference takes all the cards. The game ends when the cards in the deck have been used. The player with the most cards wins. So my first 2 cards were a 9 and a 7, so I'll subtract 7 from 9 and I get 2. And we had a 10 and a 9, so 10 minus 9 is 1. So I took all of the cards. The last game you'll learn how to play is Addition War. So you'll need a partner again. You'll shuffle the cards. The same thing as Subtraction War. So instead of subtracting your two cards, you'll turn over two cards and add the numbers together. The player with the larger sum wins the round and takes all the cards from that round. In case of a tie, each player takes two more cards and the player with the larger sum takes all the cards. You can watch my demonstration. I had a 7 and a 2, so 7 plus 2 is 9. Okay, so that is the end of our card games. So I'll go back to the beginning. And these are all of your choices that you can choose from. But I think that you should try all of the games that you learned today with your new deck of cards. And don't forget to have fun. So if you need to, you can pause the video at any time or rewind or fast forward so you remember how to play each game. In the comments of this video, I want you to comment what your favorite game was to play. And I will see you again next week for another math lesson.